The Autobiography of a Dollar Bill by Lelia Plummer. This was published in the Colored American magazine in December of 1904. The Autobiography of a Dollar Bill. It was Christmas Eve. The earth was covered with a white fluffy mantle. The snow gleamed brightly on the branches of frozen trees where a few brown little sparrows chirped cheerfully. The houses were covered with snow, and every few minutes might be heard the merry ringing of sleigh bells. "Hello," said Ragged Jackie. "This is the kind of Christmas for me. None of your mild dripping Christmases is this, but a good old timer." The shivering little urchin addressed replied, "That as for them that has fires, a snowy Christmas is all right." But he was cold. "Anyway," he concluded, "it ain't Christmas. It's only Christmas Eve. And I want to know what you're going to do when Christmas really comes." "Well," said Jackie, "just know I'm going to sell my papers and earn some extra stray cash. Then I'm going to that little corner of the bridge and cuddle down. And tomorrow I'll treat myself with my cash." So away he trudged, crying, "Paper here, sir, daily news, and special Christmas numbers." But few seemed to hear the little one, so intent were all upon their Christmas shopping. But suddenly, in crossing the street, Jackie lost his footing and nearly fell under the heels of a dashing pair of horses, which were drawing an elegant equipage up the street. The coachman sprang down and kindly raised the little Arab in his arms. "Why, youngster, you want to be careful. Are you hurt?" Then the carriage door opened and a kind face looked out upon little Jackie, who was endeavoring to wrest himself from the coachman's arms. "Are you hurt, little fellow?" a sweet voice asked. "No, responded the blushing Jackie. Then, seeing his rags, a kind hand drew forth some money from a bag and slipped it into the newsboy's hands. The coachman took his seat, and in a moment the carriage had passed on. Jackie gazed upon the money in his dirty little hand, scarcely able to believe his own eyes. Yes, in that brown little palm lay a clear, crisp $1 bill. Jackie hugged himself with delight and, clasping his dollar closely, danced off to resume his efforts to sell his papers. But people did not bother with Jackie anymore that day, and when night came, he had not sold one paper. Nevertheless, his heart felt very light, and he was happy. Many, many times during the day, he had stolen a glance at the crisp little bill. And now, when the bright and beautiful lights began to appear on the city street, he rushed off to his little niche in the bridge, where he was pleased to curl himself up for the night. "This here is better than old homes, where you all tucked and cuddled like a girl," he said to his young companions. There he cuddled down, still hugging closely his precious dollar bill and thinking of the treasures it would bring him Christmas Day. Suddenly, to his surprise, he heard a squeaking little voice call, "Jackie! Say, Jackie!" Jackie rubbed his eyes and looked around. He saw no one. Suddenly it came again, and this time Jackie did not look for it, but said, "All right, here I am. What do you want anyway?" "See here, Jackie," the voice continued, "I'm Mr. Dollar Bill, and I want to tell you all about me. But hug me up nice and tight, for the night is cold." Jackie tightened his clutch upon the precious bill. "Now, I first sprang into this world of wonderful things in a place where I saw heaps of others just like me. Oh my! There were so many of them that my eyes was just ached. And they were round little men who were very bright looking, but kept very humble before me, for I seemed to know that they were not half so good or valuable as I. Then there were some little silvery things, which we call little dimes, and I believe there were more of them than any of us could ever imagine. Well, I stayed in this a good while until I got really tired. At last, somebody far larger and better clothed than you, Jackie, took me and put me in a great big hollow coal place. If I had been alone, I would not have liked it at all. But there were lots of others just like me. Only none of the shining things were there. I asked some of the more important men what it meant, and they said little ones were to be seen and not heard, and that I must live and learn. But I was not there long, for a great broadhead came and hauled me out. I felt myself being whirled through the air for a few moments, and then I was suddenly plunged into utter darkness. Ah, Jackie, that was a black moment for me. I could not tell where I was. For a long while, I felt as if I were moving. Then suddenly, I was whisked out again and put into a little wee box and felt myself scudding along a terrific rate. I wondered where I was. I was snatched from there just as suddenly, but before I was again plunged into darkness, I caught a gleam of bright and pretty things and moving mass of people. Jackie, where was I? Well, I guess somebody went to do some Christmas shopping, as they call it, with you, and took you as one of to the beautiful stores. Very good, replied the bill complacently. You're not a bad little chap for your age, Jackie. Not at all. Well, to proceed with my tale, I met there an old friend, Jackie. Yes, my boy, an old friend, for I myself have seen many travels that I begin to feel old, though I look so bright and new. The last time I had seen him was when we lay in a great box together. He recognized me instantly, and I began to talk to him. Hello, old fella, I said. Here we are again. Now, where you been? Then I noticed that beside him lay a very old and tattered gentleman, and at whom I was inclined to turn up my nose, but bless me, Jackie, my friend seemed more inclined to notice the old one than he did me. The bright, the new, and pretty. Just then came a ring and a click, and my friend was gone. Then the old taller fellow looked at me seriously and soberly for a few minutes and began. An old fellow like myself, youngster, is really more valuable than a young one like you. Oh, young ignorance, if you only knew the many and varied tales I could tell. Ha ha, youngster, you look as if you thought you knew something. Then I blushed and looked down. But do you know, Jackie, I didn't just like the way the fellow was talking, but he kept on. Why, green one, I have traveled across rough waters, over green fields. I have been in the homes of the rich, where there were many, many more like myself. And I have been in the homes of the poor, where there were none like myself. Little one, I have been where all innocence was purity, and likewise where all was crime. Yes, I've been snatched from wallets by crime-stained hands and been in the pocket of noted criminals. What phase of life have I not seen? I have seen the poor man's joy, the miser's hoard, and until I fall in pieces, I shall continue to travel these rounds. Ding, click, my acquaintance was gone. There were lots of other bills too, who I do not doubt were worthy of my notice. But really, Jackie, the last wonderful fellow had scarcely gone when rude hands snatched me, sped me through the space, and once more consigned me to gloom. But I did not mind the darkness so much this time, for I reflected upon the old one's story and hoped that I might live to be the ragged, worn old fellow he was. You see, so much more of life, Jackie. While I studied and thought, I could hear sweet voices speaking, and suddenly a kindlier and gentler hand gave me into your keeping. Some way or other, I took a fancy to you directly. You seem to treat a fella as if you had some feeling and you had some consideration for it. I really like you, Jackie. And when Christmas morning comes and I'm leaving you, Well, I suppose I must. Do not grieve, for I shall always be on the watch for you again. Oh no, you shall never go, cried Jackie with energy. He gave a start and sprang to his feet. It was early in the blessed Christmas morning, and already the bells were chiming the birth of the babe of Bethlehem. How they rang in Jackie's ears and heart. What? I've been dreaming all this? Not a bit of it? I heard that dollar bill just as plain as I hear these bells. And I know that even if I part with my dear old dollar, he'll be on the lookout for me, and someday I'll have him again.